attending a vision seminar in Boston, Massachusetts, that I heard about through, I guess, a mailing from FFB. I was not at all involved with FFB at that time. This is about 2 or 3 years ago. And we went to the seminar, my husband and I, and we really were very excited about the research updates that were provided at the seminar. After the meeting, we were kind of walking in the hallways, and there was a vision walk table, and my husband picked up materials. I did not. I walked by it, and on the way home that day, my husband said, well, what about maybe forming a team and doing a vision walk? And I said, absolutely not. There's no way I can talk to people and ask them for money. But I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about the fact that raising money for research, particularly research that is really needed, was a very empowering way to kind of do something for myself. So I decided to go ahead and form a team for the Boston Vision Walk. The first team was 2009, and so we did that. In that first year, we raised $24,000, and last year we did it again, $24,000, and so I'm very, very committed to trying to raise funds, because the bottom line is that there are a lot of health issues out there that have a lot more visibility than blindness. And it's interesting because there are 10 million Americans affected by blindness. And all you have to do is to say, okay, each one of those people know 10 people. That's 100 million people who at least are either affected or are very close to someone who has a blinding disease. And that's 1/3 of Americans. And I'm thinking, that's a very good reason to go out there and ask anybody you can to try to raise money to fund the research that we need in order to end that. That's really the bottom line.
I'm a big part of it because I have a passion for it for obvious reasons. I was diagnosed about 45 years ago with RP, and in the last 10 or 15 years, I've gone completely blind. So the foundation provides me an opportunity to get in there and raise funds for research and to give back a little bit that they've done for me. And I know I started in the late 1990s, and I was new at that time into the foundation, and it was very important to know that I'm not the only one going through this.
I became involved with FFB because of my parents originally. I was 13 in 1971 when FFB was founded. And my parents were just really motivated and excited about it. And I thank them very much for their support and their involvement in learning everything they could. And so the way that I found out that I had my vision loss, I have Usher syndrome type 1. When I was born, my parents realized I was deaf. And then as I grew up, my balance was off. And so they weren't sure why. And when I was 7 at school, they focused, I went to a school for the deaf, and they noticed I was having difficulty and recommended I get my eye tested. And I lived in New York City. And so my parents took me to go to an eye doctor, and I went into a very dark room, and they used eye testing and realized that I had RP. And at that point, Usher syndrome wasn't really a label so much. There really weren't all the differences identified in different types of Usher syndrome. And they said that I had RP, and then there were various labels later identified for the different types. I didn't know we had Usher syndrome until I was 12. And so I was very thankful that my parents educated me about it. So I've known about FFB then ever since it was founded.